Is it hard to shield yourself from distractions within the season with the way that college football is set up now, right? You hear these horror stories of players coming and asking for more money, or I'm going to, like, in the course of the season.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Oh, it's happening to you too.
Yeah, it happens to everybody, right? Whether it's
how do you deal with this while you're, you know what I mean? Like, because it used to be, it's 6 seasons here, but you've seen it both ways, right? Where it's like, okay, we got our team, and like, then if this kid wants to leave, he's going to have to sit out for a year. And so that's a big decision to make. Whereas now it's like, we just saw this offseason, Tennessee lost their quarterback over money.
Yeah.
And it's like, what just happened here? And I can only imagine that that's not just an off-season thing that's taking place, but how have you figured out how to navigate it within the season?
Yeah, Chris, there's an infinite number of distractions and quote-unquote problems that come up just in the game plan itself, right? Just dealing with, it's hard enough to deal with an opponent and get the guys ready to go play football. But then, yeah, there are so many things that have come up that weren't even discussed 2 years ago when I was on the show, right? That are now coming in and that come up with, right, money issues, transferring. We had, think about the Iowa State game. We had 3 starters, right? 2 starters on the offensive line, a starting DB that went in the portal before the bowl game, that game. Before we took off for West Virginia, before we even got on the plane, I had 6 of our players say, "Hey, Coach, I'm going in the portal." They didn't even go with us on that trip to West Virginia.
That's insane.
Why? Why do they not go? Why do they not see that through? I'm saying
maybe they feel there's better
from their perspective. Because I got it. From your perspective, it's stupid. From their perspective, what would they say is the reason that they didn't want to participate in that?
4 days less of being in the portal, maybe not wanting to risk injury in practice. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
That's crazy because you went to war with these dudes all season. Now it's like last game. It's like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, that's the weird thing, right?
And plus you get free crap.
You do get a lot
and
of
it's free.
A lot of free crap.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
Free trip.
Right?
Absolutely.
You might get a pair of beats out of it.
Exactly.
She might.
So the reality of it is this. A couple things. One, there are so many other things just to focus on getting ready for a game. And this is not to sound like coach speak or any of that stuff. And you guys have heard me talk about this. During the season, I'm off all social media. Right? Once training.
You are?
Oh, yeah. Completely off.
Like LeBron.
I just know, don't even look at it. I have our...
So when we're killing you, you can't even see
No,
that.
You can't see or hear us.
Free reign!
Perfect.
Free reign!
Perfect. Now, when I come up from the grave and they're like, "Hey, Chris Vernon was bashing you all the time."
I was way harder on Seth.
Yeah, it was Seth.
That's true.
He was catching it from us. Seth was catching it
John
from us.
Rose or Silverfield hates you. So,
Yeah,
when you come back out of the grave in December, make sure you have something for him. And they always say Devin's got my back, so I appreciate that.
Hey.
So you try to stay out of social media.
Just completely, because it doesn't. Right, even when things are good,
Right.
it distracts the mind.
That's right.
And I just talk to our players all the time, like, where do we got to keep our focus? Because it's so hard, and treating every week like it's its own season. And sure enough, there's going to be problems that arise, and there are different problems that arose at different times. Hey, Coach, my check didn't come through, or hey, School X has already reached out to my agent. I'm not sure if I want to play this game.
How many kids you got on the team right now?
117.
How many would you say have representation?
Over 100.
What?
Wait. Like real ones or like just like my homie that I knew from back in the day?
Well,
we're not judging their representation, Dan.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, I know this dude from high school. He gonna do my money for me.
But they're with all due respect, there's guys that I'd say of that 100, maybe 80% have never met their representation. It's somebody, right? My homie back in the day.com that hits them up on InstaChat and says, "Hey, I'd like to rep you. Let me get 20% of that money," and then they're repping them.
So these are not even. It is truly the Wild Wild West in terms of representation.
Absolutely.
So you may get a call just from a guy saying,
Joe Smo wants $5,000.
Deion needs $5,000 or he ain't playing against Tulane. And you've got to be like, who are you? And then you got to go talk to Deion and be like, wait, and I'm just making up a name.
He's like, drop the Cash App now or he's not playing.
You'd be surprised some of these conversations.
So that's one of the things they for sure have to figure out, which is just make it standard, above board. Like if you're going to have representation, you need real representation.
So that's one of the things, the American Football Coaches Association, right? And I've got to be careful because there's now turned into this political mess, right? There's turned into antitrust stuff. So
Yeah.
Look, I'm all for. Let's just lay this out. I'm all for players getting paid.
Sure.
I'm great with that. I'm great for guys getting rev share and being able to, because they work their tails off. They put their bodies on the line,
And it's a big money sport.
it's a big money sport, and they deserve to be paid.
Yep.
I'm saying this right now. I think it's a great thing that players are now getting paid. I'm not saying they shouldn't. Absolutely, they should. I would love, just like I think 90% of college football enthusiasts, whether you're a head football coach, whether you do talk radio, or whether you are a fan of the game that buys a season ticket, is there going to be some type of normalcy where maybe a kid is on a team for a couple years?
Right.
And I think everybody,
2-year contracts with real representation and not a renegotiation
So-
every, because right now it truly is the Wild West because we're just getting into it.
can John Morant be a free agent every 6 months with no salary cap?
Right.
That's insane.
Okay?
Right.
When we have kids.
That's what we would be dealing with.
So if you have a kid that comes into a school right now with 2 transfer portal windows, in essence, they could go to probably 11 schools during their college career. I'm not sure if that was what this was intended for.
Right.
Right? I mean, now you'd have an awesome, when you retire, a pretty cool wall of all the jerseys of all the places you've played in college. But where's the education get lost in that? Are you still, chasing that degree that I still believe is important? Maybe I'm wrong for that. And then 2,
Boy, you are the first person to bring up a degree in college
I ain't
sports.
done it forever. Hey, look, I'm not gonna lie to you.
I haven't heard that word.
I just heard you.
Graduation
What
or
did you
degree.
just say?
Because y'all have
You
like
talk
a
wait,
high
you talk about deodorant?
degree. You talk about the real deodorant.
It is important.
Go back. We misheard you completely.
So wait, let's go back to the whole. You say you have 117, is that right? And you think over 100 have some form of representation.
Absolutely.
Okay. Can you give me the names of the other 15 and can I represent
Because I
them?
know, hey, look, we need to make some phone calls.
Devin, we got a new side hustle. He's got at least.
This is Grind City LLC.
Hey, is it a punter? Is it one of the punters or kickers? Long snappers? Hey, I can hit y'all up right now.
Just
Hey,
want
look.
25% of that check.
Yeah.
This is how far we've come as a football program. Though 1 year we got the media guide and the punter was on the cover.
Yeah.
He won the
Horns,
award.
Is it Hornsby?
Yeah.
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 The punter was on the cover.
So we might be representing.
When
the-
your punter's on the cover of the media guide, your football program ain't doing
Tough.
Well, so this year's going to be the long snapper, but that's
Yes. Hey, look, we can represent him. Who is it? What's his name?
you can't afford him. He's already got a good rep.
I can afford him.
That's tough.
So now navigating, is it harder to navigate in your mind, which is the more pressing need for regulation, the transfer portal or NIL rules?
So NIL I think, is always going to be hard to limit it. And so, grand scheme, right? You hear about this rev share and the cap, right? 20 million or whatever it may be, roughly, that each team that is opted in has the ability to spend on their athletic department. Well, then you hear about Texas Tech coming out, and not them coming out, but you hear about, you read $55 million for their athletic department. Well, where's that other $35 million coming? Obviously from NIL, from donors. So there's very, very hard to regulate that. And as long as sports exist, there's always going to be the bag man. There's always going to be people getting paid extra. And
in some ways, it's a little better because it's at least above board and there's a standard.
we all know what it is.
Correct.
It's not the McDonald's bag of cash underneath the desk. And but I would love to see some type of regulation on the transfer portal. And you guys, and what the argument is, well, coaches can leave whenever they want. Sure, if I leave the University of Memphis, I owe the University of Memphis a substantial amount of money, right? I also think that if a player says, hey, I'm going to sign a 3-year contract, maybe they could be bound to that contract. Some schools are putting buyouts in. I think we're seeing that litigation going on with Arkansas and the young man that left for
A buyout.
UCLA, buyout. But then you go into our student athletes' employees. There's just so many.
So to me, that's I understand the argument on the coach that coaches can leave whenever. Why can't player? Right? I understand that. To me, the easy solve is, bro, if your coach leaves, you can. And if not, then you can't. Right? You got to sit out a year. Right? If you signed a contract.
Are you going to be the unless
No,
you're
I'm just saying like that's. I mean, to me, that's an easy solve. If the coach leaves, that's totally reasonable, right? You signed up with this guy, you made the commitment to this guy, and if that's. And in many cases, they're not going because of sometimes, little Bobby's dad and grandpa both went to the school there, and he's always wanted to play for wherever. But generally, you're signing with a coach or somebody you feel comfortable with to nurture your career. And so if that guy leaves, you're more than welcome to be able to leave because that's not what you signed up for. But if it is what you signed up for, then there should at least, I don't like having a brand new team every single year.
We look at your roster now. We're like, who do we look forward to? Because like last year, we were just getting to know guys like the Rocks and the Blankupsees and the Seths and the
Sutton Smith's back, right?
Yeah. Sutton Smith's back. Like, who are we looking forward to watching? Because we're talking about like, man, I know you got 7 players on the Athlon All-Pro team.
We have 3 returning stars from last season.
3? Oh yeah, bro.
Who?
We're gonna have to lock in.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Who? The Winston.
Chris Adams, starting left tackle.
Okay.
Okay. Malachi Breland, starting guard.
Okay.
Okay. And then William Whitlow, starting
Whitlow. I said Winston.
Okay. So we got all the O-line. Okay.
O-line and D-line. And
you probably had to hang on for dear life on Whitlow, right? Because, he was...
Well, he went in the portal for a couple days and realized that his best situation was to stay loyal to Memphis, and I appreciate that. Look, I had conversations with Seth Hennigan about reasons why he should stay and what this place meant and what he could do here.
But he could have came back?
No.
Okay.
Whoa.
We were like, all right,
I saw enough.
No.
I'm kidding.
respectfully.
I was off social media during this. I'm going to have to scroll back and check his old tweets.
No. Check his
all those shows are archived. Like, you can go find
Don't
them.
check my tweets. I got nothing.
No, but you have 3 guys coming back.
That's it. So this day and age in college football, right?
Now,
it's very, very hard to continue and build the continuity, right? I've had a guy come off and say, Coach, I'm leaving you. I love it here. I love you. I appreciate you. I love this university. I love this city. But you can't come close to what this school is going to pay me.
After spring ball?
During spring ball.
How?
Transfer portal's open. But we also have guys that do it before the portal opens because...
Is it not tampering?
Yeah, come on now.
There is
that's
no...
definitely tampering, bro.
Yeah,
there is no...
During spring ball...
There's no such thing.
Doing it during spring ball is crazy.
Is that why, in your mind, so many of these coaches, because I know you kind of dug your heels in on, like, yo, we need reps and we're going to have a spring game. Because a lot of programs punted on a spring game, right?
Yeah.
And that's why?
Well, I wanted to do it, one, because I wanted our fans truly, one, to see some of these new faces. I think that's fair, right? Like, we have the opportunity to go play a game and get our fans out to come see it.
Right.
2, we were going to scrimmage anyway, so might as well make it open for our fans to see.
Yeah.
And 3, with the portal window being open, hey, guys, we're still in spring football. Like, let's finish the portal closed. Let's just go focus on having the spring game. And to me, I think that notion of, well, I don't want anybody else to see our players, I don't know about that, because you can always get film from anybody, right? And if a guy's had playing ability, you've seen it from...
Well, and you left out 4, which is I have 2-month-old twins at home, and so I will schedule anything that
Give me 3 hours away from the crib.
In fact, I asked them if we could play 5 spring games, and they turned me out.
So what time am I coming on tomorrow?
Talk about the finals. Hey, Coach,
The Chris Vernon Show with Ryan Silverfield.